All right, let's go on, Dolphins fans. Jacob here, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. Dolphins lose 56-19 up in Baltimore. It was going to be always going to be a difficult game. The Ravens clearly cemented themselves as the best team in the league last week after destroying the Niners, and follow that up with a 40 or 30, whatever that is, point victory, 37-point victory against our Miami Dolphins, and it was an ugly loss for a multitude of reasons. And we're really figuring out when we lose ugly. Whether it's blowouts like we've seen against the Ravens and against the Bills earlier this year, whether it's the defense collapsing like we did against Tennessee, the Eagles game, they were just able to move the ball all game. You know, there's clear deficiencies in the games that we lose, and this is the second time we've seen the team get absolutely destroyed like we did. The scoreboard doesn't quite reflect the game, like being 56-19, as Mike McDaniel going for it 4th and 12 on his own side of the field, going for it pretty much every 4th down he had there in the second half. So a lot to break down, and I just want to say from the jump, if it wasn't for the injuries, I wouldn't be too necessarily bothered by this game, which is insane to say when you lose by 37 points against the team that you're going to have to go to eventually in the playoffs, most likely, if you want a chance at getting to the Super Bowl. If it was no injuries, Xavier Howard doesn't go down in the first quarter, if Bradley Chubb doesn't get carted off in the 4th quarter, I'm looking at that game be like, all right, on to Buffalo next week. It is what it is. Getting blown out sucks, but in a weird way, I'd rather get blown out like this than lose a close one. Those close games I feel like a little bit more like mentally demoralizing than these blowout games, because early on in that second half, you knew the game was getting away from us. But the injuries, Xavier Howard, he got carted off in the first half. I think it was his left foot. Not quite sure exactly what the injury is. We'll have to wait on that. And then Bradley Chubb, the non-contact injury. It makes absolutely no sense why he was still in the game at that point. The game's gone. I personally, 2 drives before that on offense, I said they should take Tyreek and Tua out of the game. As this game was lost and nothing was good was going to come from it. More injuries stacking up is something you do not want at this point of the season, especially when you have a must-win game for the division next week. And then Bradley Chubb, that was really the one that just took the wind out of us Dolphins fans, seeing him go down like he did. At that point, I wasn't even watching the game anymore. Had NFL Red Zone up just because there's no point sticking around watching at that point in the game. So that stings. Xavier Howard, obviously, he going down. You see the hole that is left when Eli Apple was out there instead of him had that big touchdown to Zay Flowers. Just throughout the game, having one weak side of the field. Jalen Ramsey, he's going to be solid on one side, and then Xavier Howard being out on the other side, just leaving a hole open for Eli Apple to do Eli Apple things. So that sucks. For the game itself, look, this is the best team in the league. This is the Super Bowl favorite. This is the team that, since early on in the season, I said was going to be the Super Bowl champ. I don't think I ever really said it here on this channel, but talking amongst friends and just watching this Ravens team, this Ravens team was missing this offensive side of the ball. The defense has always been there. They've always been able to run the ball, but Todd Monken coming in, Lamar Jackson getting Zay Flowers, getting Odell, Isaiah Likely stepping up when Mark Andrews goes down, just kind of like a 1A, 1B situation. This is the best team in football. Easily. It's Ravens, a gap, and then the rest of the league. If you're going to lose, that's the team you want to lose to. The best team in the league. It sucks the nature that it's a blowout loss, but it is what it is. The only real bright spot was Devon Achane, 107 yards on the ground. Had a receiving touchdown, 4 catches, 30 yards in that touchdown. Very similar if you look back to that Bills game. He had an absolutely monstrous game. And those of you who are in your fantasy championships that have Devon Achane, at least you had that one bright spot. Tua finishes 22 of 38, 237, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That first interception just completely did not read Roquan Smith just sitting, hovering in the middle of the field, rushed to get that playoff before the 2-minute warning, and it cost the Dolphins that second touchdown, or second interception rather. Maybe Tyreek Hill misread that, undercut it instead of going a little bit further up in the route, maybe to overthrow it, regardless of what it is. He was also under pressure all day. 3 sacks, had a lot of pressure, only a 71 passer rating. The Ravens knew how to beat us. They were way more physical. That first drive was really the only time where you really saw the fireworks. That second drive, we got it in goal to go. Tyreek catches that touchdown. Maybe it's a different game. But from that point on, rest of the game, it just was completely lost. The Ravens, so disciplined, can beat you in so many ways. This is the second time Lamar Jackson has had a perfect passer rating against us. He went 18 of 21, 321, 5 touchdowns, 158.3 passer rating. Barely ran the ball. 6 rushes, 35 yards. Zay Flowers had the most yards for them, most of that coming on the 80-yard touchdown, 3 catches, 106, and a touchdown. It was just a thorough beating through and through. If it wasn't for the injuries, you shrug your shoulders, you move on to, what's going to be the best game of the weekend next week. Likely going to be another Sunday night football game, the third one that we're going to get to watch this season for the division. All eyes are going to be on that game, most likely with the 8:30 start time. You take it on the chin. You hope the best. Sometimes we see from those non-contact injuries that it ends up being okay. Sometimes you see, it looks worse. They get carted off. It ends up being okay. So until we get some official report, Bradley Chubb, same thing with Xavier Howard. You keep your hopes up because we need those two desperately after already losing Jalen Phillips earlier in the season. Emmanuel Ogbo is a healthy scratch. He's, after tweeting what he tweeted, he's clearly not fully in tune with the team right now. So he's going to be called upon next week and for the remainder of the season, regardless of how severe the injury is. He's going to have to play some pivotal snaps for the remainder of the season. It sucks. It sucks. It's not fun. I always try to say that, I always tell the truth here. I tell you guys exactly what I feel. And in the live stream, I predicted the Dolphins to win, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, this probably isn't happening. We had every little. There's so many boxes that you could check for this to be a game that we lose. Not just the fact that, we're playing the best team in the league in their house. Lamar, I think, is undefeated in December at home since he's been playing for the Ravens. The emotional high that we had last week, getting that division win, game-winning field goal. You feel that narrative is lifted off the shoulders of the Dolphins that we can't beat good teams. You're coming into this week, injuries. Tyreek Hill still held back. Jalen Waddle, we knew early in the week, probably wasn't going to play. He's probably not going to play next week either. Raheem Mostert, late last night, after it looked like we had some positive reports coming out the previous few days that it was looking like he was trending towards playing. All of a sudden, the Adam Schefter tweet that he was likely to be inactive, that happens. Eichenberg gets hurt at one point in the game, but he came back rather quickly. But those injuries, the game last week, the team who we were playing there on the field, you just tip your cap to the Baltimore Ravens because they do everything well, and this is their year to win the Super Bowl. If they don't win it now, you look at that Ravens team and wonder when they're going to win it. This is probably going to be the worst the Chiefs are. The Buffalo Bills have had such a roller coaster year. They've been a lot better with their new offensive coordinator. What are they going to look like next season? The Jacksonville Jaguars, there's no chance they look this bad going on in the future as Trevor Lawrence just continues to develop. CJ Stroud, there's so much talent in the AFC that if you're this Baltimore Ravens team, you wonder if not now, then when. The Dolphins, we still have the luxury of Tua being on his rookie deal. Figure out what that contract is beyond the season. We have guys we got to re-sign like Andrew Van Ginkel and Christian Wilkins, but those are next year's problems when they come. You're still, again, you still get that benefit of Tua being on his rookie deal if this season doesn't ultimately result in a Miami Dolphins Super Bowl. And it's going to be pretty difficult. We're not going to have home field throughout the playoffs. We will at least have to play one road game, and next week against the Buffalo Bills will determine exactly how many road games we will have to play, assuming we win at the very least in the first round, with that being the championship for the AFC East. All likelihood is it'll be on Sunday Night Football. I will be there. Fun fact, Donovan is actually right here. So, Donovan, as you stick your middle finger up at me because he does not want to be on the mic, how you feeling, bud? Because my mic unplugged. So, Donovan, how you feeling?
Depressed.
Okay, thank you. Analysis from Donovan Quick as he is a sulking Dolphins fan laying on my bed watching college basketball highlights, I guess. Red Zone and college basketball highlights. That wasn't fun. We appreciate all the support on the channel recently. We are 10 subscribers away. Last time I checked, from 1,000 subs. And if you know, you know. So if you've gotten this far into the video, we really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button down there below. We're all sulking together. And, there's going to be more sulking to do this week as we get prepared for a very impactful game against the Bills next week. Please hit that like button. Not a lot to like about, but hopefully y'all like us over here at this channel. Get down in the comments. Let us know your initial reactions to this game that we all just had to watch painfully together. We appreciate y'all very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Go Dolphins.